Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video reacting to your guys' hot takes once again. And in today's video, we have some pretty big heaters. So thank you guys for commenting your hot takes. If you want to end up in the next video, please leave yours in the comment section below and I'll try to get to as many as I can. First thing off the bat, the Amazing Fantasy versus Renew Your Vows discourse that was created in the last one. Very interesting to see. A lot of again, the community is just split down the middle between these two molds for Spider-Man. I'd say a majority tend to lean towards Amazing Fantasy. I mentioned that because the very first hot take is sort of related to it. Every Spider-Man figure from Marvel Legends should come with toe joints, especially after Renew Your Vows. It just makes me question why they didn't make it a mainstay with those figures. Yeah, I think one of the very few things that Renew Your Vows has a one-up on compared to the Amazing Fantasy is the toe joints. Of course, the feet are just ginormous. It makes me question just how great the Amazing Fantasy figure and the figures that use that mold would have been had they included a toe hinge on all of them. Come on, who doesn't love toe hinge? I agree with that hot take. Now, moving on to the next one. This was the most liked comment on my last video. This isn't really a hot take. It's more of a statement, but I've had more QC issues with Medicom Mafex than Marvel Legends. And for the high price of Mafex figures, it's unacceptable. This is like one of the most interesting ones I've had to tackle so far. I think Hasbro produced figures on such an overwhelmingly large scale that QC issues are just super prevalent. Medicom Mafex definitely have a whole lot of quality control. However, like when a figure does have an issue, you are bound to hear about it because people who spend $100 on a figure to have it break are going to be very vocal about it online. So these horror stories you see in comment sections of people breaking their figures, of course, those ones are going to rise to the top compared to Hasbro, where it's just like, oh, the foot on my Hasbro figure broke. Like, oh gee, yeah, same as me. We've seen the Hasbro horror stories so many times, we just kind of ignore them unless it's just a widespread issue. I will say I haven't had a Mafex figure break on me yet. I just wanted to know what you're doing with your Mafex figures if you have that many issues with them. I think it's unacceptable for both brands, however. I think they both need to be held accountable when issues occur in their products. This was one I found like the most interesting. My hot take is that Hasbro always give Cable the worst guns. Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave came with what are essentially two futuristic guns that seem to have been flattened. The blasters that came with the Sasquatch Wave and Zabu Wave Cable are Nerf blasters. As for the large gun the Sasquatch Wave comes with, he can't hold it properly with both hands. God, this is so funny. This is like, that's an issue that I never even thought of until this very instant, because yeah, his guns are pretty underwhelming, honestly. I definitely think the Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave is the worst offender of this. Weapons he comes with, Cable to me is just a character who is just synonymous with big giant guns. And for the Zabu Wave just to come with these little two pea shooters. The Juggernaut Wave, I'll say, I think it is very cool they gave him the same gun that came with the Hope Summers figure. I think that's a pretty cool Easter egg if they did that intentionally. But yeah, not the strongest piece, very susceptible to warping, which was a very huge issue. Yeah, that Sasquatch Wave, that gun, I think it is just that figure itself. I think the gun is fantastic. It is let down by the mold of that figure. He just can't move his arms that well. Yeah, I agree with that take. I don't think any Marvel Legends figures have been overpriced. Wrong. This dude wasn't around for the Engine of Vengeance HasLab, it appears. Their pricing is so weird because one day you'll get a figure that is just like, whoa, we got all of this for this price? That's fantastic. And then the next day they give us a figure and we're all just like, you want us to pay how much for that? It's just a 50-50 thing. I think that statement of none of them have been overpriced is insane. I disagree with that take 100%. I don't think there has been a bad head sculpt since the retro-carded Invisible Woman. They took the criticism from that figure personally. That one is so funny. That's another take that I just didn't even think about until this very moment. Like, when was the last time Hasbro dropped a truly awful head sculpt outside of MCU figures? And yeah, that one has to be one of the front runners. I remember Hasbro got clowned on for that one so heavily. The memes spawned from that was so hilarious. But yeah, it got the hate it deserved because what the hell was that? It made me sell off that entire Fantastic Four. I didn't want the team with that on there. Yeah, one figure just ruined the entire team for me. That's so funny. I think that year that Invisible Woman came out were Hasbro's growing pains in terms of their growth, because very soon after that figure came out, like, we started seeing banger after banger. It's all culminated to where we are today, where every figure is just import quality in terms of like face sculpt and how good they look. Sometimes they look even better than other companies like Mezco, Mafex, SH Figure Arts. I completely agree with that take. That's a funny one. And last but not least, I saved a nuclear take for last. My hot take is Toybiz had way more to offer and way better sculpts than Hasbro. They came with bases, comics, and sometimes vehicles. So many of their sculpts looked way better, mainly the Spider-Mans. I don't think I'm truly the right one to go to for this opinion. Toybiz era was before my time. I got into collecting well after Hasbro acquired the license. They were in the middle of their Return of Marvel Legends run, which revitalized the product, revitalized the line, brought life back into it, and brought so many fans like myself into collecting. Not a perfect line by any means, but it is so much stronger than where it began. Toybiz, just right out of the gate, were just producing hit after hit after hit. And I think it is really unfair for people to hate on Toybiz by today's standards, because they didn't have that big of a run as compared to Hasbro. And the consistency between like paint apps and sculpts throughout the line, you know, them reusing parts, it makes everyone look more uniform, I would say. But Toybiz, man, like, they really poured their heart and soul into every character and gave them all like these unique quirks. Of course, like, when the sculpts are really good, they're good, they're great, they stand up by today's standards. But when they're bad, oh boy. Toybiz dropped some stinkers, and I think a lot of us shouldn't forget that. But yeah, like, in terms of what they came with, Toybiz definitely takes the cake there. Like, comics, bases, even vehicles for a single wave. That's just incredible what they managed to put in for the price point that they were at. I think Toybiz and Hasbro are very even footed at this point. Hasbro for their longevity and for the consistency throughout the line, but Toybiz in terms of like individual figures and what it came with, yeah, they both have their ups and downs, but I think they are equal, honestly. But yeah, that would do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment your hot takes down below and I'll try to get to them in the next video. I love reading these, and these videos have been such a blast to produce. So thank you all for commenting your opinions. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye. If it had also had those, if it also had that toad hint. Oh my god, excuse me. Oh my god.